to finish this amazing journey, Shainoor Khoja, who is a global change maker and a serial entrepreneur, she will share with us the power of transformation in the face of death and destruction, and how a giver becomes a receiver, and together they understand the true power of community. Probably you all heard about what happened in Afghanistan some months ago with the destruction of part of the company Roshan, where many people died. In Latin America, we did, let's say, a campaign with the B Corp community, and it was incredible that even though we were so far away, the sadness of many of the B Corps from the community was huge. And in the worst possible moments, the value and the power of interdependence gets much more important. So let's receive Shainoor, that she will share this story. She's been engaged with Roshan for almost 15 years. She has led the growth of Roshan to become an Afghan embedded company, to take the lead locally. So this is an amazing story that we have the privilege to listen and to finish be inspired. So a big applause, please, to Shainoor.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here today very happy to speak to you about what I have learned about the power of community, the power of our interconnectedness, and the power of our interdependence. My story begins in 2003, when I went to Afghanistan to join an incredible team that was there to set up Roshan, which is now the largest telecoms company in Afghanistan. Roshan is an Aga Khan Fund for Economic Development company, which means that we never go into a country to set up for pure profit. We only go if we can tick the socioeconomic growth and the impact boxes. So Afghanistan back then was still at war. Scattered buildings destroyed, bullet-ridden walls, displaced families, displaced children, poor infrastructure, no running water, no electricity, a broken healthcare system, a broken educational system. 16 million women and girls excluded from the formal economy. Corruption, volatility, insecurity and instability a norm, and a thriving poppy business, 9 billion at that time, unfortunately 16 billion today. Illiteracy at 70%. What would you have done if you wanted to make a phone call at that time? 99% of the population did not have access to a phone, and through the phone to all the services and products that one could have. If you were rich, you could use a satellite phone and pay the $12 a minute for the call. If you had access to one of the 10,000 landlines in the country at that time, you were super lucky. But if you were anything in between, and if you were poor, you had to walk 700 kilometers to another country to make a phone call. The team at Roshan was geared to change this. And this was personal to me, because I myself am a product of a displacement, a displaced child of a displaced family, only standing before you today because of access, because of opportunity that my host countries provided for me to change the trajectory of my life. And that's what the team was on the ground to do, to provide access and opportunity to the Afghan people. Fast forward 15 years to today. 90% of the population has access to a phone. Internet usage is rising. We have connected Afghans from the mountains of the Pamir to the sand deserts of Kandahar to the war-ravaged fields of Helmand province. We have enabled the youth to embrace blogging, Twitter, and Facebook, and shared in excess of 30,000 jobs. We have brought women into the formal economy. We have prospered, and so has the Afghan community that we have worked closely with. We have built trust, we have built respect, and we have built opportunities. We've built an entire PR industry, a printing industry, an advertising industry, a logistics industry, you name it, storage industry. So we were making a difference. But our difference was acutely felt in the programs that we delivered for the community. It was our mobile money platform, M-Pesa, that allowed the unbanked to become banked, that allowed microfinance to reach the far corners, rural corners of the country through electronic disbursement and repayment. It was our mobile money platform that reduced corruption and skimming through salary disbursements. In education, we helped build schools and playgrounds, places for gathering, for community. But additionally, we built e-learning centers from the containers that delivered all our equipment, which had solar panels and computers in them, so that we could provide access and opportunity. For the farming community, many farmers are women, and the middlemen take the majority of the profit on their crops. So we built Malamat, an app that provided real-time market prices to the farmer so that they could demand the right price for their crop and be rewarded for their labor. In healthcare, we helped build hospitals. We helped build an endowment that helped marginalized children get healthcare. But what was transformational was that we built the telemedicine platform. The telemedicine platform connected several hospitals across Afghanistan to Pakistan and to France and to Tajikistan. This meant that we could get e-consultations, we could get diagnostics, we could get rural doctors to perform pioneering operations, things like separating co-joined twins at birth, things like removing a brain tumor from a neonate, things like an in vitro cardiac surgery. Procedures that would not be possible for any Afghan to get, let alone somebody at the base of the pyramid. We were increasing access, we were bringing quality, and we were bringing affordability to this population. In the area of water, we were responsibly drilling wells closer to communities, so that we could free young girls from the burden of carrying water every day and go to school. We were impactful. Our story was very powerful. We were making a difference, and the accolades came in thick and fast. To name a few, Fortune magazine named us in the top 51 companies changing the world globally. Fast Company listed us in the top 10 companies globally doing social good. And our very own B Corp put us in the Best for the World honors 2 years in a row. Thank you. We were at the top of our game. We were doing what we set out to do. We were just so excited and just looking ahead at the next barrier that we could break. And we had built very strong community relations, so we were safe in as much as our community protected us. Yet, on the 31st of May, 2017, at 8:35 a.m., a fuel tanker fully loaded with fuel, carrying 1.5 tons of explosives for some other target, prematurely exploded 400 meters from our headquarters. It was a busy time. It was commuter time. People were dropping off children to school. The roads were jam-packed with cars. Our drivers, our cleaners, our employees, they were all coming to work with their to-do lists in their minds, unaware that they would not make it back home that evening. 90 people died that day. 400 people were injured. 33 of those were our own. And 100 of those injured, some seriously, were our own Roshan family. All those awards I talked about, all those accolades, destroyed. Our officers, destroyed. Our spirit, somewhat destroyed. These are some of our family. Individuals that are very smart, that are very committed, that were passionate about our mission. Individuals that could have emigrated to any safe haven, any safe place in the world and live very productive, contributing lives, but who chose to stand by us and work with us to build the country that they wished to live in and they wished for their children to live in. Mothers, fathers, sons, daughters, brothers, sisters, perished, gone. It was a very, very dark day for us. And it was in this darkness that I realized the power of community. It was the very community that we had invested in, that we had aligned ourselves with, that came to hold us compassionately, to care for us, and to bring us back when it was so easy, really so easy, to pack up, give up, and go home. Fellow employees, customers, suppliers helped us lift and carry our dead and wounded from the rubble. Organizations like the B Corp community, Mercy Corps, Roshan alumni, friends and family started fundraising to help the families that were affected. Our shareholders and the embassies sent messages of support and tried to help as much as they could. Even our competitors offered us office space and technical support. But it was our sister agencies, the Emergency Hospital, the French Medical Institute for Children, and the Aga Khan University Hospital, the very engine that we had invested in, the telemedicine, the very doctors, nurses, and healthcare professionals that we had trained that were now saving our lives and tending to our wounded. That therein was the power of community and of the giver becoming the receiver. Roshan's recovery has been remarkable. Our network was up and running within 5 hours of the incident. 48 hours after we had had the incident and buried the people that we had lost, employees started pouring in to the makeshift offices we had. Bandages, slings, crutches, sticks, wheelchairs, almost comical if it wasn't so sad. They wanted to get on with the work at hand and get back on track. Our CEO visited every single family that had lost a loved one, a breadwinner, someone that supported 10 to 12 people in their family, to let them know that we are family. We are Roshan family, and they are our family. And we will do everything in our power to ensure that they are helped as much as we can possibly help them. Project Phoenix is the project which is our strategic roadmap to get back to number one, which is where we want to be. We are healing operationally. We're back. We're stronger. We're more resilient. And we're inspired to go and do more. Emotionally, that will take a little bit of time, but we are working on it. And as I stand here today, I am very honored to be part of the B Corp community. We have a saying at Roshan that we use fairly often by Khalil Gibran that says, "You give little, but when you give of your possessions, you only truly give when you give of yourself." And when I think of the B Corp community and how it rallied round us, people sending beautiful messages of support, people we didn't know, people that we did know, the ability of people thousands of miles away to hold us and support us and give us the fuel to get back on our feet. We are very grateful. I am very grateful. All of Roshan is very grateful. Thank you. The award that I received last night on behalf of Roshan will be the first award now that will go on a new wall and will be the beginning, hopefully, of many more that we will get. I thank you from the Roshan family for being there for us. Thank you very much. Roshan, Naslik Shadan. Thank you.
Thanks, Shainoor.